coming up to me and they kept saying, my big thing is time, my big thing is time, my big thing is relationships. My big thing is basically finding time to develop myself and to read and do the things I know I need to do. And it was interesting because everybody had an Achilles heel that they identified pretty quickly, which is good. That means we're thinking, but here's the key though. And Cindy and I had a lengthy discussion. She's one of the best educators I know. She was saying, you know, we had this discussion about how do you get people to take an informational point that they know applies to them and to do something with it. So, in fact, Gary Inch and I are working on a research project in this regard on the subject matter of adult learning. Turn with me, if you would, to page 7 very quickly. I know we're covering a lot of ground, but this is gigantic. So here we go. The traditional approach to education, learning, training, development has had a simple point that if we put the right information in front of people, they're going to grab hold of it and run with it. But here's the key though. If you have information without motivation, the information is pretty much worthless. And we know that. Pastor Tom, fairly worthless? Yeah, and Cedar Creek Pastor Tom, absolutely. So we could go through information without motivation isn't worth a lot. So now we've got to be motivated. I'm going to do something with this information. Now, once you want to do something with it, question, what do? We have to tear it down, understand it, read more, break it down, apply it to us. We need to integrate it so it becomes part of your coconut, becomes part of who you are. How many veterans do we have here? Military veterans? Let's have our veterans stand up out of your seats right now. How about, real quick, let's give a big round of applause for our veterans. Thank you for your service. Question, could you still make a bed like the military asked you to do? All right, probably could. Could you still field strip Joel an M16? Could you take it apart and put it back together again? Okay, sure. Why? Because you integrated it into who you are. This is important stuff. Grab a seat. Now, this is key. If we become really serious about information, we integrate it, now we can apply it. Because if you apply it without understanding it and making it part of who you are, it'll go away. Because then we'll never get a transformation. What we're talking about when you look at this list of 12 items, these things all have the potential to transform your ability to get better results for your organization and to improve your career trajectory as a leader. The key would be, well, where do I start? What do I do? And I would come back and I'd hit you with this question. Here's some coaching tips to kind of wrap things up. So we'll go back to Pat. Pat went off and he had a retreat with himself. And he sat down and he went through the questions and he answered them. He came in with 6, 7, 8 pages of legal-sized pads with all of his notes. I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to do this. All right, what's the key though? The key is not just to have it be information. It was still just information. It's got to be what? Translated into something that is doable and workable. And if I looked at somebody and I said, Mr. Jean, vini s'il vous plaît, bon moi, bibla, vite, what would you do? You wouldn't do anything. That's Creole, what they speak in Haiti. I just asked him to bring your book and come quickly. Okay, come on over here. It's information, but if we don't know what to do with it, now we have a problem. So here's 5 quick things that I shared with Pat in this discussion. Tip number 1, hit the pause button. Hit the pause button. I know a lot of people in this room are Twitter with Randy Ostra. He said a tweet on Sunday. It said, sit and be still and think strategically. Take time to be quiet so you can think strategically. Hit the pause button. Schedule a personal strategic planning retreat with yourself in a quiet place. And footnote, they still do exist, but they're just harder to find. They're just plain harder to find. We need time to think if we're going to improve. So I'm going to call a timeout. I'm going to be still, and I'm going to set an hour and a half aside so I can work on me. Coaching tip number 2. Conduct a serious needs assessment on yourself. And I would encourage you, you can use any metric or device you like, but I would encourage you to look at the career success and survival imperatives. They cover a lot of ground. It's empirically based. This is the stuff that leaders out there are telling me that are really, really important. We need to identify our strengths and play to our strengths. We need to pick out the areas that are Achilles heels for us, and we need to put together a plan. And I hear people say this, I wish I was a better communicator. I wish I could think more strategically. I really, really, really wish I could kind of connect with everybody, all right? Everybody, wishes are good, but they don't change anything. We need a plan. We need to put something in paper, and we need to do it seriously. Because here's the 3 questions we need to ask ourselves. And I think these are the best questions ever, and they apply to my life as a husband, a father, a community servant, as a member of the faculty of the College of Business and Innovation. By the way, footnote, We're changing the world right now. We are on a big time tear. The dean was being very modest, but there's a tremendous amount of great stuff. And if you want to come alongside and partner with us in anything, you reach out to us, because there's an opportunity for engagement with our alums out there. But here's the question. If you're going to develop a 90-day action plan, why 90 days? Because we've got to get focused and target behaviors for 90 days to work on making them a habit. Ask yourself this question and do it in writing. What do I need to keep doing? What do I need to stop doing? And what do I need to start doing? And start with your most vulnerable issue. Whether it's people or planning or skill sets or whatever it is, you're going to be, maybe you don't make it easier for people to get their work done. Pick out what you're going to keep doing, stop doing, start doing, and put it in writing. Now, if you want to get daring, you want to refine it with a couple people, and then you want to do this. You want to create real accountability. The single biggest factor for changing behavior, it isn't the plan, it's accountability. So do we have somebody in our life, and that's the beauty of having Coach Gary Pinkel here today, to coach us on some of the things we can do to create winning organizations. It's really important to have accountability, because if you look at any change effort in anybody's personal life, it always goes back to who's holding you accountable, who's encouraging you. Change in our personal lives and professional lives is the ultimate team sport. So we not only need a plan, but we need an accountability partner. And we probably, I'm just throwing this out, we probably need our boss to be part of this. And if you want to make a big leap, I'd put together my improvement plan. I'd develop a PowerPoint presentation, and that's what I asked Pat to do. Pat, develop a PowerPoint presentation. You're going to make a presentation to me in the next 2 weeks about what you're going to do to become better at what you do. Just like we do, by the way, at planning and strategic planning meetings. Go on record, give it thought, give it effort. Why a PowerPoint presentation? You're creating a document that can be critiqued, looked at, studied, broken down, and to put the PowerPoint presentation together, you have to have given it real thought. Finally, develop the habit of conducting a daily stop. And those of you who were here last year know that this is a big deal. Stop every day, 15 minutes, start of your day, put together a performance script. Sit, think, put together a plan to optimize your day around the things you need to get at to improve your performance and to deliver better results, and then perform. Instead of going to work and just jumping in full bore from the get-go, right out of the gate. And whenever I give this talk on stopping and slowing down, I get an immediate reaction of emails and tweets all over the place from all around the country, because people say, I need to stop, I need to slow down, I need to make better use of my time resource. And at the end, it comes down to acting with greater intentionality. What does that mean? Oh, by the way, footnote, as I said last year, we're pretty good at acting with intentionality, because everybody, as a general rule, almost everybody, takes a vacation. So here's a question for you. How intentional are you 3 days before you leave on vacation? Everybody? Pretty intentional, right? Because we'll say, no, can't go to that meeting. Hold that call. I'm delegating this. I can't do that. We're very efficient. Why? Because we want to leave with a clean slate, correct? And then we want to make sure that the sword of Damocles is not hanging on a thread over our heads while we're gone. So we know how to do this, but the catch would be, do we do it daily? Do we live with intentionality? And Jenny, where are you? I heard this morning, and part of it was because we were out of town when this happened. One of the best leaders that I've ever had the privilege of working with has recently passed, John Meyer from Libby Glass, who retired several years ago. How many people knew John? Right, a lot of people in this community. He was a great leader. He was very focused. I spoke to him after the initial diagnosis came down with cancer, and he made a comment to me. He said, I'm being real. I'm trying to stay positive. Please pray for me. There's stuff going on here. And I would ask, I just make sure that I'm getting the things done I need to get done. Why? Sense of urgency and intentionality was created by the fact that he had a critically difficult disease to contend with. Everybody, we're all in the same boat. So what do we know about great leaders? Great leaders have the ability to make good use of their time, to make a difference, and help the people that work for them make great use of their time. So at the end of this discussion, when a leader makes a decision to get better at what they do, frequently, more often than not, it's coming off that list of 12 things. And this is not my opinion again. So I would encourage you to be still, create a plan. Think about that plan. Create great accountability around that plan. Get some coaching in your life. Maybe you even build out your personal board of directors. So you surround yourself with 2 or 3 or 4 like-minded people, and you go through this process together. Because you know what happens? When people sit down and they care about each other, and they look after each other, and they coach each other, and they love each other, it has a tremendously powerful metamorphical effect on a person's ability to transform themselves. So it isn't about the information, because if we have information and we're not motivated to do something with it, what's that? Forget about it. You know, Rick just moved here from New Jersey. They say that a lot out there. Forget about it. If we have integration, now we're in a spot to apply, and if we apply, now we're in a position to be transformed. So I want you to think about these things as they apply to you this morning. And I'll stop right there, because we're really fortunate to have our next group of people as we roll into this next effort. I want to close with this thought and we'll roll right in. This time, like all time, is a great time if we know what to do with it. Thoreau said that. And what's fun about this picture, see this kid? I'm just guessing that this child did not want to go down the slide. Who's with me on this? Okay, isn't that like it's horror, right? But please make note, the child went down the slide. All right, and I'm guessing that the adult arm next to the child had something to do with the child going down. Fair? So if you have a challenge right now in dealing with time, in dealing with people, in dealing with your ability to plan or think things through, maybe you're a little afraid to take it on. But I'd come back and say this: you've got to go down the slide. Bring somebody alongside yourself, and it will become much easier to make any change that you want to make. And this is not like a Tony Robbins rah-rah thing at the end. I'm saying this: systematically plan for it. Put together your plan and build accountability in your life so that you can be the leader that you have been called to be. Because remember, the 2 best days in your life are the day you were born and the day you figure out why. I think Mark Twain was brilliant. So I hope I've given you a little bit of information to help you with your why journey, and I'll stop right there. So give yourselves a round of applause for participating very actively.